Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of WFSO Wrestling Talk with yours truly. Special guest that we have today. He's a wrestler and also a promoter, Preston Churchill. So hopefully I said the last name right. I don't know if I did, but I know he's going to correct me eventually. So let's bring him in. So yeah, so just give me a moment, and yeah, of course you're going to hear some people outside. So just wait for his like mic to come on and all that stuff, and we can get started. Hello,
How's it going?
good and yourself?
Not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Seems like it's a nice day over there too, where you at.
It is. It is indeed. Yeah. Um, so it's been a while since I've done one of these. I guess you have to walk me through it. How do you want to do this?
Oh, mainly I'm just gonna ask you questions, and you can just like respond and whatever answers like you give. That you
Okay.
know,
Okay.
like I'm
Am
as a
I
guest. Yeah.
okay? Are you asking Frank Lennon, the promoter, or are you asking Preston Churchill, the wrestler?
Ooh. Yeah, that's a tough one. It had to be both.
Okay. I will do my best.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Anyways, what got you like into wrestling?
So ever since I can remember when I was real little, I can remember watching it with my dad and even my half brother. I remember one time my half brother like picked me up, and again he's like 14 years older than me. I was 3, maybe 4 years old, and he just like threw me into the sofa. Sofa actually rolled over and trapped me inside of it. I wasn't hurt, scared the shit out of me, but I mean, I just I remember sitting on my dad's lap and watching Hulk Hogan and Macho Man. Uh, but what inspired me would have been Mick Foley. His run as Mankind in the WWE.
Right.
That's what inspired me. I watched him get thrown off the top of the Hell in a Cell. I watched him do all those crazy things he did, and I'm like, you know what? Here's just another fat guy like me. I mean, he's not a Hulk Hogan. He's
Right.
not 10 like Kane. He's just another guy, and he loved it growing up. Because that was the story they told it, and so that's what inspired me to get into it was Mick Foley.
So I take it like Mick Foley was one of the guys that grew up watching and idolized. Am I correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, when I was real little, it was Hogan and Macho Man, and then yeah, into my early teen and even my later teen years, it was The Undertaker. It was Mick Foley. I liked the story between Undertaker and Kane. Obviously, I liked watching Stone Cold ride in and crack open a beer, stun everybody, and then crack open another beer. I loved the gimmicks. I loved a good story. You know, uh, that's back in the late '90s, early 2000s. That's how it was. Before everyone's like, oh, that's fake, right? Before that, it was yeah, wrestling is like a soap opera for men, and
Yeah.
it was. It was a very physical, continuing story. It was Days of Our Lives, but with body slams. you know, and
Yeah.
I grew to appreciate the art, not just of storytelling, but of the physicality of it. You've got to train your body to take these bumps. You've got to constantly be working on that, and that's what some people just don't get. Like it's not fake. That is the worst F word you can say in wrestling.
Right.
Because it's not. I've got scars. I've got damage. I've got concussions. I've got a torn knee. It's not fake. The outcomes. Yeah, sometimes we know who's going to win, but It's not fake. There's guys that won't wrestle me because of my punches and my headbutts. So uh, if that's worth anything to you.
Wow, I didn't know you had anybody scared to wrestle you, but
Oh yeah, and there's some guys that don't throw punches. There's some guys that when I was being trained, there were guys that, I mean, literally would stop their fist 6 inches from your face, and they'd expect you to sell that. And I'm like,
right,
nah, if you're not making contact with me, I'm not going to sell it. And my brother and I, and he and I, we just beat the shit out of each other. And I'm sorry, I should have asked, is this PG 13? I should have asked. I'm sorry.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay. We beat the shit out of each other. Every punch connected, every kick connected. I slapped the taste out of his mouth because that was my gimmick going against his gimmick. And then I knew it was coming back. I knew I was getting that receipt, but that's as real as it. That's us making it real, and
Right.
because it was real to us growing up. And then you've got these guys in that interim that are totally killing it. Like, you are destroying the mysticism, the art form, by doing this. And especially, I came up in a wrestling ministry because that was big in the early 2000s. And,
Right.
and so you've got an even smaller crowd that you're trying to keep them in the seats through the wrestling to hear the word of God at the end. So you can't destroy the illusion, you can't take away that mysticism. You've got to keep that alive. And so that's, just how dedicated we were to the art form, and of you know how much we loved it.
Yeah, especially like you wanted to make it look good too.
Right, absolutely, yeah. I would rather see someone get potatoed, than somebody sell an air punch. And I would much rather somebody slap the taste out of my mouth than totally whiff it, and now we both look like idiots. you know I've been
Right.
doing this for 24 years. That's still my preference. I might feel it more in the next morning than I used to, but it you gotta keep it alive.
Yeah, exactly. Who trained you?
So I grew up. I started my trainings began in Burnettsville, South Carolina. It's a little town outside of Aiken. Really, I mean, it's almost as close to or Augusta and North Augusta than it was to Aiken. But my trainers were Daniel Kaufman and Joel Lynn. Joel Lynn, you can find, he was on one of the first seasons of Forged. He's actually got his own um, blacksmith shop now there in Aiken, or actually he moved to Augusta. And Daniel Kaufman, he retired shortly after I left Augusta in 2004. Um, he he was the Chicago Brawler, Max Hunter, and Joey was the God Chaser, Lex Hunter. I don't remember what he was before the God Chaser, but they ran Augusta, South Carolina, or I'm sorry, Augusta and North Augusta in the Georgia, South Carolina. They were the headhunters. They were brothers Max and Lex Hunter. So
Okay, makes sense. I wouldn't say that it probably was easy or hard and anything like that, but how was it for you? Like, was it took a little bit to get used to, or what was the
oh,
case?
absolutely, yeah. I mean, those first couple of months were just brutal because it was just bumps, 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 bumps. We practiced from 9 a.m. till like 2 or 3 p.m. on a Saturday, and it was lots.
I think he's frozen a bit, so probably going to come back on. So maybe we just wait for that.
Bumps. You've got to get your body used to the punishment, you know. And the rolls. I can't stress the importance enough of the rolls. Getting your body to roll properly, land properly. It's it is key to being a safe and professional performer. But yeah, it was tough at first. I mean, ibuprofen in a hot bath, at Saturday night, Sunday night, sometimes Sunday morning and Sunday night, especially those first couple of months, because I mean, it's brutal. You are training your body, retraining your body to fall because you've got to learn to let go and not try to catch yourself.
Right.
So it's brutal those first couple of months.
Yeah, especially you saying, you don't want to catch yourself, but you want to just like let go. And I think that that's hard for like some people to do. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's really that. And I did see some people, train to try to drop themselves.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just insane.
yeah.
But
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I became a trainer about year and a half, 2 years in. The company I was with split in half and started over. And Danny came to me and was like, "Here's the deal. I'm starting over with you and your brother and a couple other guys, or I'm done. We're done." So we're like, "Yeah, man. What happened sucked. It was not right, and we're with you." So really quick, I really had to step it up and make sure I was constantly on the ball. He and I would meet um, in the mornings. He was getting off of work, and I was heading to school or headed to work, and we would train for about 2 hours, just he and I. We'd hit the weights a little bit, and then we'd hit the ring. Before he went home and before I went to work or school. And then I was training still every Saturday with my group of guys. Um, and then, when I got up here, I found a couple of different companies that I would end up helping out with training. I trained for what is now PWK. I was training a class for between them and RCW. Ruby Riot, Ruby Soho.
yeah.
She was in the training class with my ex-wife. I
Oh,
helped. Yeah, I helped train her. And then right before COVID-19 shut everything down, I was training a class of guys for Dan the Beast Severn at his place in Coldwater, Michigan. You know,
oh, no.
so yeah. And he's actually reached out to me. He wants to start up again in the spring. My job situation has changed a little bit, but I think he and I can come to an agreement and make it work because I would love to get back to doing it regularly again. You know,
That's that's cool. But how that all happened with you and Dan to be Sanderin?
so Dan the Beast Severn, that thing just kind of happened. Somebody that I had worked with years and years ago. Um, he popped up out of nowhere and he's like, "Hey, you really inspired me. All those years ago. You had, because I was struggling with my gimmick, and you told me just your gimmick is yourself. Just crank to 11." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I would have said. That sounds like me." And so he's like, "Man, you have no idea how much that changed my life. Not just my life, but my wrestling life too." And I'm like, "Well, that's awesome." He goes, "Hey, I'm going up to Dan's, next Saturday. Do you want to come along?" I'm like, Dan, yeah. He goes, "Yeah, Dan Severn." I'm like, I didn't even know Dan Severn had a place, nearby. So I was like,
Right.
"Yeah, that'd be sweet." He's like, "Yeah, he might be there. It might just be, Rod running the practice. Who knows?" Like, okay, yeah. I mean, if it's a place to train, sure. So we drove up there, and sure enough, Dan was there, and the guy I was with, he introduced me, and Dan's like, "Yeah, you're Preston Churchill. I know who you are." I'm like, I mean, I was blown away. I'm like, "You know who I am?" He goes, "Yeah, you're the British gimmick, the top hat, the flag. Oi, yeah, I love your gimmick, man." I am just like about to shit myself. Dan Severn knows who I am, and he loves my gimmick. Are you kidding me right now? I'm waiting for a camera to come around the corner. You've been punked, but no, he's straight up. He loves gimmick work. He loves a solid character. And so that's how he and I ended up talking about me coming in to run a class of guys for him because, he feels like a lot of wrestling has lost that. And I agree. There's too many, guys running around with first name, last name, no gimmick. And you can't have that. You've got to have gimmick. You got to have a character. You got to have a story.
Right, exactly. So, anyone you had trained so far, either they, still around in the independence or they moved up or wherever the case may be. So, What about the guys you had
Yeah,
trained so far?
yeah. I mean, gosh, yeah. I've had I mean, obviously, I mentioned Ruby Soho,
Yeah,
Ruby Riot. No one else that I'm aware of, made it big. But yeah, a lot of guys that I trained are still around. Um, Austin Martin, he's still around. I've retrained and rebranded several guys. You got Big Ben Bloodsworth. We've got Preston Stone. Very notably, Rusty Nails. He had a name that when he was younger, he just kind of left a bad taste in everybody's mouth because he wasn't trained properly, and he was really, he was just really young and didn't respect a lot like he should have.
yeah,
But he wanted to come back, and I was like, here, let me help you. Let's leave the old name behind. Let's try something different. And I mean, he was doing great. He's really doing great now, and I'm really proud of him. My ex-wife, I'm not gonna lie, she had the gift, and she really could have, had she stuck with it, she could have been up there with Ruby. I mean, she really could have. She had the heart for it. She had the look, and she just kind of became a different person. So that sucked. Not just for her professionally, but for our family. But yeah, the other guys, like I trained back in Georgia, South Carolina. Again, that company kind of fell apart when I moved up here. Um, you had Sir Walter, you had the Gatherer, Seraphim, and Johnny Eagle. I've recycled the Johnny Eagle gimmick a couple of times, but the original Johnny Eagle, he had the gift. I think had he stuck with it, he really could have been something. Um, but yeah, I mean, the trainer can only do so much. At the end of the day, you as the worker, you've got to be putting it out there for yourself. You've got to be going to other shows, you got to be messaging up, other promotions, and hey, I've got this much time in. I'd love to come in and help stack chairs, help put up the ring. If there's time, could I get in the ring and work with somebody? You've got to be able to do that for yourself. Um, so
yeah, exactly. This probably be like a little bit of maybe personal, but you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. But
okay.
who's your ex-wife?
Uh, her work name was Tracy Stone.
Okay,
Yeah, her work name was Tracy Stone,
okay,
and you can find plenty of videos of her on YouTube. Preston Churchill versus I think it was totally Tracy at the time, and then there was the big comeback for her. It's under RHG versus BS, and that was for the Rough House Gang versus the Brawler Syndicate. It was a big story where Totally Tracy had stolen my six-man tag team trophy, and she baited me into a match to get it back. And Preston Churchill just he kind of went too far and really just destroyed her. And then the story was that she slipped into a coma and she didn't make it. And then the Rough House gang had been trying to beat us for the six-man tag team trophies, and they were unsuccessful. And Tracy was going to step up and be their third man, and then she had that unfortunate run-in with me. And then there was a big surprise there at Halloween Mania. So I don't want to ruin it, but we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun telling that story. And I mean, you're talking again, this is 12, 14 years ago. And, before the big Me Too movement, and
yeah,
where women wrestling was still kind of a niche of a niche of a niche, and it was so hard to find a regular opponent for her. Most of her career, she wrestled men, either me or Hardcore Harry, um, or even Oxmaker Jr. A couple of times, but I mean mostly me or Hardcore Harry. And she really held her own. I mean that's how she was trained. She wanted to be trained as one of the guys, and she was only 5'4", but when she stepped in the ring with you, her presence was that of a 6 foot tall man. I mean she'd glare at you, she'd scream, and you were genuinely concerned that, okay, maybe I'm gonna get my ass whooped tonight.
Right.
She really had it, and it's a shame what happened, and it's a shame that everything that happened. She ended up with a wrestler anyways, and she has turned her back on that. So, um, it is what it is.
Right. Gotcha. Who is Preston Churchill?
So Preston Churchill is the gimmick that I've been for since 2008, I guess 14 years now. That came about because I moved up here, I got married, and I had to, getting married, you put on a few pounds, especially because I wasn't training regularly for the moment. And I had a lot invested into the British gimmick that I previously was, Lord Frank Lennon of Oxford. Think William Regal meets Chris Jericho, and
Oh,
Ozzy
okay.
Osbourne. Yeah, so that's who Lord Frank was. And then here I am, a little bit older, a little bit heavier, and I'm still very heavily invested in the British culture. I've got British flags on everything. I still love Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath. And so my ex-wife and I um, came up with, the British brawler. And that's where Preston Churchill came from. I would show up, you know, um, in, top hat and tails, dress pants. And, I would disrobe once I got to the ring, because previously I was used to wrestling in pants and a shirt. So I just took it up a notch. And, I've got a tails coat, I got a top hat, I even had a bow tie. And, it would take forever to take that coat off, take those pants off, take the bow tie off, you know. And now I'm wrestling in a singlet, but I'm still wrestling in this dress shirt. I'm just like, I get hot by the end of the match. I've ripped it off anyway. So I just like, why don't I drop the pants and the shirt and I just come out with the top coat and the top hat? And so that became the gimmick. I'm carrying the British flag with me. I got the top hat and the tails. Everything, you can tell I'm British. I don't need the whole suit because it takes forever to get out of, and then I end up ruining a nice shirt and sometimes a nice pair of pants. So the British brawler is just headbutt, punches and headbutts. That's my main thing that I'm known for. And like I said earlier, there's a lot of guys that won't wrestle me because of my punches and my headbutts because I'm not going to whiff that. And especially now that I've lost my hair, those headbutts got to connect. So I'm as safe about it as it can be. But sometimes if you're not listening, if you piss me off, it might be stiffer than snug. So I try not to. But you know, if you're not listening to the vet, you're gonna get it. But yeah, the British brawler is just like I said, just I guess like I would say William Regal meets Rhino, if you will.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, I had to take, I mean, there's still a little Chris Jericho in there, but not as much. you know, I can't do some of the things I used to when I was younger. It used to be a regular thing to see me do the 619 and then climb to the top rope and do a top rope headbutt. Well, I tore my meniscus doing that. So we don't do that anymore. And I probably gave myself a couple of concussions doing the top rope headbutt. So don't really do that anymore either. But plus, who wants to see a 300-pound man do the 619? It's just not as impressive. You know, can I still do it? Yes. Should I still do it? No. So
I guess it just all depends, like if you can do it that good. So I don't think it matter like how much you weigh or not. It just depends if you can do it good.
see, now you're tempting me. The last show, look, I worked a show 2 weeks ago, first show I worked this year, and I used to do this thing where I would go for a high splash and I would miss, and because it's high, I would flip over the top rope and land on the floor. Well, I accidentally did that 2 Saturdays ago, and you know what? I still got it. So there are some things I'm like, you know what? Maybe I still can. Did I feel that the next 2 days? Absolutely. I think I've still got bruises on my arms from 2 weeks ago. But you know what? I could still do it, and I could still do it safely. And that was probably one of the biggest pops of the night, and we were the opening match. So
Okay, so yeah, don't doubt yourself. You may can still do the 619, so you never
right,
know.
right. Well, if I do it again, I'll do it for you. So
I appreciate it. And
yeah,
I gotta see
yeah.
the video of that too. when
Yeah.
you get a chance.
Well, if you check out my YouTube page and you go back far enough, there'll definitely be videos of me doing it. So
Okay, for people that want to know, what is your YouTube page?
I think it's just Preston Churchill. Hold on, got a card here somewhere. Yeah, just Preston Churchill. If you Google me, I'm the first thing that comes up. Facebook and YouTube, Instagram, it's the period British period brawler. On X, it's British underscore brawler. On TikTok, it's the underscore British underscore brawler, and on Snapchat, it's Oi Churchill, OI Churchill. I don't know. Can I put that up there? Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. Okay.
Yep, you can. Yeah, you can see it.
Okay. And yeah, I'm old school. It even have my phone number on it. So
Exactly. So ain't nothing wrong with that.
right on.
Who is Frank Lemon, the promoter?
So Frank Lennon, is I've tried to be I've tried to be honest and fair to everybody. I wasn't gonna run my own promotion. I tried that when I was married. I tried to do like a wrestling ministry, like what I come up in, and at that time, I was kind of, I guess, I became disillusioned. By the third show, that's when my ex-wife was leaving me, and I just, I gave that up for a while. But then I got through the divorce. I was going to help a friend of mine bring back his company. And at the last minute, he just dumped it all in my lap. He said, "You take it. I'm done." And so I was like, if I'm doing this, I'm going to do this different than the other companies in the area. I'm going to make sure everybody is treated fairly. It's not the buddy system. If you're my buddy, you get a better match. If you're just my buddy, you get a better story. If it's my buddy, you get the tag titles, or you get the world heavyweight champion. And everybody gets paid, because that's the biggest thing around here. You have too many promotions running around when at the end of the night, "Hey brother, thanks for coming out, but the gate didn't draw, so I can't pay you." That takes the professional out of professional wrestling, and any promotion that willingly does that should be shut down. You've got companies that are protecting pedophiles. You got companies that are protecting uh, predators, and I wanted nothing to do with that. And once or twice those other companies, "Oh hey, so and so did this, I heard so and so did this," and I did my research, and if there was any kind of actual truth to that, I let them go. One person, I called every police department in that area, and there was not an actual police report, so that tells me it didn't happen. If you're telling me, "Oh, we filed so and so filed a police report," every police department in that area says there's nothing on file. So that means so and so lied.
Right.
Now there was another incident where somebody sent me a copy of the police report. "Hey, he caught a case." Okay, he will not work for me anymore. I'm not going to protect him because that's so and so's buddy. I don't care whose buddy it is. If you have an actual case against you, you're not supposed to be in this. This is not a safe place for pedophiles and for predators. This is a safe place for people who don't do that stuff. So, and there was an incident where two different females came to me about when they had very similar stories about a dude, and when they had very similar stories, nobody filed a police report, but it definitely seemed like it should have been brought to attention, and that didn't go as it should have. But again, that's the case of other promotions, protecting somebody they like as opposed to doing the right thing. But Frank Lennon, the promoter, I try to be fair. I try to, treat everybody fairly, and I try to pay my guys and keep it safe. So,
Yeah, that's fair. Um, a match you have been in, uh, was there like a match you've been in that you was like, "Oh my god, this is like the best match I ever had"? Like maybe like a greatest moment or something like that.
okay, so I don't know about best match I've ever been in, but the greatest moment that comes to mind would have been I wrestled one of the Turbo Twins, and he wasn't wrestling as one of the Turbo Twins. He was wrestling under a mask as Johnny Patriot. And in the middle of the match, something happened with his mask. He couldn't breathe. So I put him in a headlock and I took him to the back. And, I'm British. So I told the referee I get a 20 count, European rules. And we get
Yeah.
back there and, he gets the mask off. His brother, something happened. I can't breathe. And I'm like, okay. And so then the promoter, and I believe it was Dick the Bruiser Jr., is like, you guys got to get back there. It's like, I can't go back there with a mask. I'm like, okay, here's what we do. So then I took his arm, put it around me, said, now let's get back out there. So it looked like I took him back there in a headlock. He got the better hand, and now he's bringing me back. And when we came back through that curtain and they saw he had me, they went nuts. There was like 500 people in that gym, and they all were on their feet because now, your American hero had got the better of the British asshole. And
Right.
he thanked me profusely. He's like, brother, you saved my ass. You saved the match. I'm like, I just did what was right. You know, you got to take care of the people. Protect yourself, protect your opponent, and that's what I did. You can't put the mask on. Okay, the match has got to continue. Let's do this. So that would probably be my holy shit moment. My yeah.
Okay. Seems like that's a good thing, and I think we need more people like yourself or like around too. So
Right.
that was a good thing.
Yeah.
Where do you see your promotion at within the next 5 to 10 years?
I'm hoping to have my own building. I'm hoping to have my own ring and running monthly shows. I do it all myself: the booking, the promoting, the story writing, and it's tough, but no one else can see the vision in my head, so it's hard to put someone in one of those positions when you can't really, I can't draw a map to everything, but I'm hoping to have my own building, my own ring, and monthly shows, within 5 months, 5 years, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. So it's like mainly like every other month or something that you run your shows.
Right now I'm doing like 3 to 4 shows a year, just because ring rentals, uh, venue rentals, insurance, stuff like that. So
Yeah, because I can bet that it's kind of cost like a little bit high. So yeah,
it,
I
it is,
understand that.
it is, and again, I make sure that I can pay my guys going in. Last show I had a couple of sponsors drop out on me like the week of the show. And, I told my workers straight up, like, hey, if I can't get this money, I'll cancel the show. And they're like, nah, we'll do this. So we did it. And I had to write a couple of IOUs, but I had everybody paid back, within 2 weeks. And I don't ever want to be in that position again. But,
Right.
everybody got what I promised them. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just glad it's all worked out for you.
Right.
Um, let's see, like any people that you probably either you work with that's in your company. Do you think you see them in the like near future making it either big or still like big in the independents?
Yeah, absolutely. Just amazing. KO Kendra. I'd like to see Shayla Hyde on top again. She had a match in WWE. I hope that she gets another chance at that because she deserved it. Um, I would say Preston Stone. I think he has what it takes. Um, and Daniel Alonso. I think he can make it too. So.
Okay. Any like great matches that you saw between like the guys you got so far? Like which like match you think like kind of same thing with like you had your best match. You think, but I was saying like who you think that had like the best match so far in your company?
Oh, that would. Okay, so just amazing and oh gosh, what was his name? Oh, I can't think of his name now. Mike Strong. They had a really great match, and then KO Kendra and Renee Van Peebles. That match tore the house down. I mean, just absolutely tore the house down. In fact, there is a still shot of Renee and KO Kendra locking up that ended up being on one of the side plates of the my women's championship, just because that match was just out of this world.
Okay, cool. What titles that you have on your promotion?
So I have a world heavyweight title, which is currently on Excalibur. Oh, he's another guy that should definitely make it. Um, I've got the women's heavyweight championship. Unfortunately, uh, she just retired, and so she had to vacate the title. Um, so I don't have anybody for that right now. I mean, I have girls, lined up, but I'm not just going to hand it to them. They've got to
Right,
fight for it.
right.
And then the tag titles, Preston Stone and Big Ben Bloodsworth, the Hitmen for Hire, they currently hold the tag team titles. Oh, and Killer Kevin Roberts has the Killer Championship. So it's kind of like our hardcore.
Oh, okay.
Originally supposed to be the Bruiserweight Championship, but there's a misunderstanding with the belt maker and they put Killer on it. So like, it's the Killer Championship now.
It happens.
It does. It's a beautiful belt, so no need to have it redone.
Exactly. If it's that good, why not?
Right, right. Yeah, all my belts are custom made. The tag team belts were actually mine from my original promotion that I had to pawn, and then the guy that ended up buying them for a different promotion, he sold them back to me several years later. So I got those again, and then yeah, the world heavyweight title is custom. The women's is heavily customized, and the killer championship is heavily customized as well. So.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And
Um,
you should be able to see all of those on the Supreme Pro Wrestling Facebook page. So,
okay, we'll look into that. But one question before I ask you the final question.
sure.
Yeah, what were your like accomplishments in professional wrestling so far?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, in the CWA, where I first got started, I was the first and I believe only uh, two-time champion. I won the championship as Sir Frank Lennon and then was knighted by the Queen and became Lord Frank Lennon. And then I ended up winning it as Satan as well. And to my knowledge, I was the only person to hold it twice. So there was that. And then in PWK, and all the different names that it has had over the last several years, I was a multiple time tag team champion, 6-man tag team champion. Um, I won. There was a slamming championship trophy I won out in Ohio. Uh, I had I held the tag team belts in Supreme Pro Wrestling, uh, and I won some other cup too. It was a Rumble Royale Cup over in Illinois, I think. So
Okay.
multiple time tag team champions.
Oh, that's cool. Last question, like where can people find either, your promotion and can also find you?
Okay, so I would say YouTube, Facebook. If you're talking about physically, so I live in Mishawaka, Indiana. I will wrestle anywhere that books me. Like I said, I was on a show last Saturday in Indianapolis. I'm looking at I'm looking at some promotions over in Illinois and Michigan again, and even Ohio. My show is currently moving. We have been in Goshen, Indiana, but I'm looking to come a little closer to home. So there's more drama over here, but uh, these guys have been running their mouths long enough, and you know what? Uh, if they're going to talk shit, no matter where I go, then I might as well be right here at home. So they can't touch me. They're afraid of me, and that's why they keep running their mouths. So
Yeah. Once again, I appreciate you being on here.
you're
Like
welcome.
I said, sorry for the little delay, and hopefully
Hey,
we'll do this again soon.
I hope so. Just reach out to me.
I will do that. You take care of yourself.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's Preston Churchill, ladies and gentlemen. Like you said, you need to get a hold of him. Trying to spin out in the Midwest, and all the information, just Google his name on, you know, just Google his name and you'll find him. And also, Google his name on YouTube as well. Um, let's see. I'm going to do a couple of shout outs before we go. Like I said, I apologize for not like saying people's names earlier, but I did kind of wave to the people that's watching live on YouTube. You got Anthony Hernandez. He says hello. Um, Grathfo, whatever the name is. What's your favorite joke? I don't know why you asked that. Lynch Cash, appreciate it. Saying the channel's on fire. Dushila Canjiano, hello. Um, Johnny Dagmer, sorry if I said it wrong. Hello. Soccer 4L, say what's up. I think that's Exhibit Zero PTBR. Yeah, that guy was talking in Spanish, but didn't understand it. And it seems like we did have some couple of more subscribers, so that's pretty good. Um, but anyways, I know I got prepared for my interview, which is going to be not that far from now. But anyways, if you guys watching through Twitch, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Um, just follow us on Twitch. We do live, content like almost every day. We talk about wrestling. We talk about Milwaukee Bucks. As you can tell, I'm wearing the gear. Also, we talk about comic book movies and TV news, like if there's like news available, and also we talk about developments that's going on here in Milwaukee. So if you like the channel, or you like the stuff that's on here on Twitch, also guys live on YouTube, this will be the place for you to check out this channel. So over 2,500 videos and counting, and we're not done yet. We're one of the longest reigning channels on YouTube as well. Also, this episode will be, let's see, it's after 5 now, so that means I gotta push this to so hopefully this will be up before the day's end. So I'm gonna try to do it as soon as I can. So as soon as I'm done, so I'm gonna try to put it up there at least before the other show at 6 p.m. So watch out for that. And also, this will be on Spotify too. I may have to put like parental advisory onto this, but yeah. So I personally don't like person. They cuss. So whatever, not a big deal for me. I just got to do the just let like Spotify know there's like language. So that's the only thing. Anyways, check out all our past shows and stuff on Wrestling Fans Speak Out Spotify. So get a chance, check that out. And like I said, I appreciate this people subscribe, and I appreciate the likes so far. Thank you very much. Just please subscribe to the channel. Our goal is to try to get to 1,000 subscribers. After that, we get more. That'd be great. I just want to get to 1,000 subscribers. That's all I want. I don't care if I get farther than that, and it'll be great. And probably we get to there, we can do more stuff around here, like just some stuff I'm not going to say yet, but kind of get it. But yeah, more information will come on that. So anyways, also check out the website wrestlingfanspeakout.weebly.com. Information on like events in the Midwest. Also, you have events that we went to, when it came to wrestling, on also, Bucks events we went to as well. So get a chance, check that out. And all other stuff that we got going on, like videos like this. Because of course Wrestling Talk got his own page on the website. So you get a chance, check out some past interviews. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully you keep supporting the channel, because without you guys, there will be no us. So until the next video, you guys have a good one, and see you later. Maybe like about next 40 minutes. So thanks again, guys. Like I said, until next time.